Post George Floyd, corporate America pledged billions of dollars to black businesses, black entrepreneurs, black startups. A vast majority of that money has been rescinded. The court system is tearing apart affirmative action to the point where it's almost decimated. A lot of your counterparts have been very vocal on DEI, and they're anti it, to say it nicely. So you, as a leader in corporate America, what is your thoughts on that current position, diversity, equity, and inclusion? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to your organization? And I would like to hear your viewpoints on it, because we've heard a lot of other people share their views lately.
Yes. I mean, if you break this apart, diversity is beautiful. If you break this apart, equity is beautiful. If you break this apart, inclusion is impactful. And so when I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, those are beautiful words, objectives, vision, to be able to say, how can we have a company that can cast the widest net to truly have an inclusion for everyone? And I think that, unfortunately, the narrative and the polarization of it is getting in the way of what are we really here to solve. Context. Are y'all with me? What is the root cause? And as a leader, you always want to understand the root cause for anything, the root cause. The root cause is that we have started, and if I make this about corporate America, in an exclusionary mindset. We've started with the exclusion of women. We started with the exclusion of people of color, or with the exclusion of people with different abilities. And so over time, with a fight and policies and laws and voices, we have worked to address an exclusionary structure to be more inclusive. Put this in perspective. The first female CEO did not happen until the 1970s, the decade in which I was born. The first. Put this in perspective. The first that we had a policy at the federal level for maternal leave, maternity leave, was in the 90s. To put this in perspective, ADA, American with Disabilities Act, in terms of policies for people with different abilities, did not happen until the 90s. I see your mouth just dropped. You see that? She's like, what? And so when you think about what we're doing and where we are today, we are young and new to this structure of inclusion. And so whenever you are here to make progress, it's going to have a bumpy line. Progress is never straight. And right now, it is really hard. But I think it's important for leaders, and I would say for us at TIAA, it goes back to our values. Regardless of what you want to call it, our values is that we want to cast the widest net. It's our understanding of if we cast a wide net, and we may be introducing new employees into our ecosystem, there may be policies or practices that we didn't understand could have a negative impact. And so by understanding and getting proximate to saying what's getting in the way, like when women entered the workforce, going out on maternity leave, there should be a policy, but you didn't understand that because you didn't have women in the workplace. And so I think when we really talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is about opening up the aperture of talent. It is about then looking at your policies and practices to say, is there anything that's getting in the way that would not unlock someone's potential? Is there someone with a different ability, think about ADA, that can't navigate up and down stairs? So maybe we should have a ramp, or really make sure that every building has an elevator so that they can be their best version and that we can recruit them and they will stay, because we didn't make it unbearable for them to come to work every day. And so now more than ever, we're in a diverse global world that's inside our workforce. Now more than ever, we're in a time where we have intergenerations all working together. So of course, there's going to be different views, different mindsets. There's going to be a lot of concern and angst, but I say as a leader that when you go back to your values as a company that says, I want to cast the widest net to compete globally, I understand that the rate of change is happening so quickly that if I am not staying on top of what I need, I can miss it, and that can have a long-term impact. I need to understand the diverse perspectives of the people in my workforce to make sure that what we are about as a company is something that's resonating with the generations of today, tomorrow, and the future. And so, yes, there's a lot going on, but we cannot get tired about the problem we're really trying to solve. And I would just say that if you really break it all down, the word diversity is not a bad word. Equity is not a bad word. Inclusion is not a bad word. The opportunity to unlock talent is something that I think as leaders, we must double down on. If we want to compete, we have to compete. And in order to compete, we need to look all around the country to find the talent. And so it's heavy to know that sometimes the narrative or what people say can feel like a direct attack on my being. That sometimes it could feel, will my children be seen for the content of their character, not the color of their skin, but I want them to see them? So it is heavy, but we cannot get tired. And as leaders, I think we have to continue to align with the values of your company, to understand that things are hard, it's not in a straight line, but are we on the right side of impact and growth? Are we on the right side of wanting to do good in the community? Are we on the right side of wanting to make sure that our employees can feel safe and protected? Everyone. Are we on the right side of unlocking ideas and thoughts and making sure we get counter narratives and don't shut down voice, but open up voice in order to make sure that we can unlock the future? So it's a lot going on, but I can't get tired. We can't get tired. And we have to just always go to the root cause and understand our why. And don't let the narratives that are not aligned to the spirit of what we're trying to do distract. And I know it's really tough because there's a lot of polarization and that many companies have to pivot and address. And there's many ways to pivot without losing sight of the main thing. And for us at TIAA, we are committed to unlocking the very best talent and understanding that the best talent looks like me and do not look like me. The best talent is Black, white, Hispanic, Muslim, Christian, Republican, Democrat, born in this country, not born in this country, but they're wearing one jersey, and that's the TIAA jersey. And that has to be the connective tissue that I think we get back to as leaders.